Risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars Wrestling Show. I am your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my left this week is the still reigning Scholars of Wrestling champion after Summerslam weekend, Scholar Brian. What's up, sir?
In honor of the late champion Brock Lesnar, it is not just the reigning Scholars of Wrestling heavyweight champion. No, sir. It is still your reigning, defending, undisputed Scholars of Wrestling heavyweight champion, the master of douchery himself, Scholar Brian.
Yes.
Came down to the wire.
Yes.
But in the end, douchery reigns supreme once more.
Just freaking barely. It came down to the wire. Much salt was had. It was a race to the finish. And I gotta give it to you. You still came out on top. You defended your title. Good show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
There was some controversy to be had, but everything is hashed out now, and the championship remains where, as of now, it belongs.
As of right now, anyway.
Hey,
yeah.
I added the caveat.
You did.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah. As you might hear, Scholar Tarek is unable to join us this week as he is off to sunnier pastures. And as he was heading off, he mumbled something about something, getting my title back, something, vengeance, something, death is but a door, time is but a window, I'll be back. So, yes, you'll hope, with any luck, you'll see him again next week. But in the meantime, we got a pay-per-view to cover.
Yes, we do.
Yes, so let's look back at the show that was SummerSlam 2018. Let's see what happened.
Was it indeed the biggest party of the summer? It was certainly the longest.
Hey, you know what? I got my money's worth with this entire show, starting with the kickoff, where Andrade Cien Almas and Selena Vega defeated Lana and Rusev. I actually missed this match because I was on my way to where we were watching the show. Did you happen to catch this one?
It was exactly what you would expect from a pre-show match that had no stakes. Okay, it was... Let's see, since we like to do the food metaphors, it was... Let's see, what kind of appetizer would I give this?
Soup?
It's when you go to England and you get a plate of beans. That's what this was.
You've been to England?
Yes.
Have you really?
And I've heard story. Well, no, but I've heard. I heard a comedian who went to England and they gave him a plate of beans, and it was a big guy. It was a big comedian. And, yeah, he's walking around England after a plate of beans and some coffee. You can tell how that went. That's it, but...
Oh, was that John Pinette?
Yes.
Oh, I've heard that guy. That guy's hilarious.
Yeah, and so that's what this reminded me of. It was maybe 5-6 minutes long. It was there. It gave you something to munch on. Well, not much. But it was there. This was the empty arena match, basically. This was the part of the show where they're letting people in. They haven't gotten to their seats yet. They're like, and WWE management goes to these four and sends them out to the ring. Says, give them like 5 minutes. Do your moves. Zelina pull some bullshit and get out of there. That's it.
Hey, it did its job and it gave us some points. So, and thanks to you, I now.
No, it didn't give any of us points because we all chose Rusev and Lana. That's it.
Okay, never mind then. Yeah. Well, at least we got the mental image of John Panette fighting Rusev, so that gave me something to do. Anyway, moving on to the next match, we've got Cedric Alexander defeating Drew Gulak. I think this was the first difference maker as far as our points went.
Yes, because Scarlett Torek like to think that there would be title changes on the pre-show. I believe that I knew better.
You say nay nay.
I say nay nay. And so does the WWE apparently, because Cedric Alexander retains. This was pretty good. This was the plate of hot wings.
This is why I arrived to, and I was plenty entertained by this one.
Yeah, this is the plate of hot wings before the main hors d'oeuvre. This was good. This was quality wrestling. This was 8 minutes long. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it, and Cedric Alexander's Spanish Fly is fucking incredible, man. That's it.
Can't argue with that one.
That's it. And Cedric Alexander proves that he's the face of the the cruiserweight division when they actually give it some rope. That's it.
Yeah. It's times like this where I have to confess that I don't always check 205 Live all the time. But whenever I see a match from them like this, it makes me remember why I really ought to make it appointment viewing. Anyway, going on to our final pre-show match of the evening, we've got the B-Team defeating the Revival.
And this was the salad.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that. So I'm like, okay, I guess he doesn't like salad.
I am middle of the road on salad. This is... B-Team for me is jumped the shark. Like, I don't like... whoever is going to come and annihilate the B-Team can't come fast enough. As soon as they got that new music and they... Like, the joke is worn off for me. It's like once you became champion, it's like... Let's get some victories that aren't complete flukes and I randomly fell on this dude. Oh, there's a 3 count. What? That's it. The joke is, the fun is wearing off. Mm-hmm. It is. There's only so many places you can take that gimmick for it to succeed, and we all know that the B Team are transitional champions. We just don't know who they're transitioning to. So it's I feel like it needs to come quickly. Like, do I think... I don't think they're going to give Revival the championships. I would love, you're right. I would love for them to get the championships, but it's not going to happen. So, the fact that they went on Raw and they're still trying to, like, it seems like they're setting up a rematch. It's like, at that point, I hope Revival does take it. Because I've soured on the B Team. They're not quality viewing for me anymore. They were fun for a time. The novelty has worn off. The match itself, it was acceptable. I mean, there was nothing completely bad about it. But it's not something that I'm sitting in my seat watching riveted. This was basically, dinner is served. I'm going to be in the kitchen for a little bit. That kind of...
Yeah, I gotta admit, the B Team has strangely been growing. I can't tell if they've been growing on me or if I'm just strangely impressed that they still happen to be over with the crowd. I'm really not sure which is hitting me first.
It seems to me like, a lot of stuff that wouldn't normally get over with the WWE crowd is getting over with the WWE crowd because they'll get anything over that isn't Roman Reigns. So that's it. So it's like the B team. Elias's gimmick would normally not get over. Okay. A lot of things in this day and age that would normally not get over, they're like, anything is better than Roman Reigns on my screen. I'm gonna cheer it. Give me more of that instead of that.
I wish it weren't that true. I wish it weren't true. But anyway, moving on to the actual legit show proper. We've got Seth Rollins defeating Dolph Ziggler. What do you got?
This was neck and neck for match of the night for me.
Mm-hmm. I had a feeling it would be.
Okay. The story told was great. Okay. The action, you can't go wrong with Rollins and Ziggler in the ring against each other. You can't. These guys are awesome. Okay. That DDT on the apron was sick. That's it.
Ooh,
I thought it was dead. And it seems like it was time for the title to change hands.
Yeah, because it's all. It just seems like it needed to happen. And
it's one of those, Ambrose just came back. Unless you're gonna turn him heel on the first night, you're not having him cause a loss his first night back, unless it's like legit. I'm turning on this fucker and I'm gonna beat his ass. Mm-hmm. No mistakes. Okay. So the minute that it was confirmed that Dean Ambrose is back, I knew that Seth Rollins was going to retain. And I like the story of Drew McIntyre trying to take out Dean Ambrose on the outside, failing, and Dean Ambrose getting him in the end. And that's the impetus to have Seth Rollins beat Dolph Ziggler on the inside.
And that, meanwhile, again, it seemed very textbook to me, which is the only reason it really lost points with me. It just that it didn't give me anything unpredictable. But at the same time, what was delivered to me was so solid and good all around that it may not be my personal match of the night, but there's still a whole lot to love. I certainly understand why other people would mark it as such.
And I love the fact that WWE posted a tweet with Dean Ambrose looking on in the corner, and they post a tweet saying, Dean Ambrose over here looking like the world's meanest head coach. That's it.
They're not wrong.
Yeah. And I love what they're doing with the I don't know how long it's going to take before, if going on later on, if we do bring up what happened on Raw. Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm like, with the Shield reunion, here's a thought that nobody thought about. Mm-hmm. Okay, what if it's not just Dean Ambrose turning heel? What if the Shield reforms and they all turn heel? All of them. And get the... I understand, but I'm like, what if it's not just... What if it's a full-scale Shield heel turn? That's it. And we get the Shield that we had at the beginning when they were just running roughshod and beating the shit out of people.
I see it as a good thing for one reason and one reason only. And that is because the Shield at full power seems to be the only thing left in kayfabe that can match or even conquer Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah, and that's why everyone that's poo-pooing the fact that the Shield reformed, I was like, that is the only way now. Okay, we've had Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman 1-on-1. We've had that feud. And it's been... The feud ended with Braun Strowman standing tall. Okay, the only way to put doubt at all in the minds of fans as to whether Braun Strowman can beat Roman Reigns and become champion is to reform the Shield and have them all gang up on Braun Strowman. I'm like, as much as a lot of people on the internet are shitting on it, I'm like, it's a logical progression here.
It is. And honestly, even though we may not know exactly where this is going, I don't know about you, but the way last week's Raw ended, I'm now, this upcoming Monday, that's must-see TV for me.
Oh, yeah. And now with and Dean Ambrose with a whole new moveset, him doing moves that I've never fucking seen him do before. That this is like, it's like he got hurt, ate 15 million cows, okay, got huge, learned a whole new moveset. I'm like, big things are coming. Big things are coming for this guy.
Dean Ambrose came back from King Kai's planet.
One of the best counters into the Dirty Deeds that I've ever seen on Monday. When Dolph Ziggler went for his elevated DDT, went for his jumping DDT, Dean Ambrose just kind of grabs him, drops him into the underhook. I'm like, that genius. That's great. And
man.
The only thing now is, where does Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre go from here? I understand that at Hell in a Cell, apparently they're going to be facing Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. But we all know how that's going to end. So where do they go after the feud ends at Hell in a Cell?
Good question. I really don't have anything to say about that just yet, but I do have an idea, and I think I'm going to save it for as we get closer to next month's pay-per-view.
Yes.
But until then, we've got another match for the tag titles, I believe. We've got the New Day versus defeating the Bludgeon Brothers via disqualification. What'd you think of this one?
Knowing now what I know, with Eric Rowan getting hurt during the match, what if the DQ was not in the script? What if Eric Rowan knew that he had screwed up his arm, and they went, okay, go get the hammer, go get the mallet?
Then that's an audible that I didn't see coming, or I didn't spot.
Yeah, that was a thought that went through my mind, because I was like, why would you have the same DQ finish in two title matches on the card? Okay, because we all had a feeling how Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles was going to end. Mm-hmm. We thought that this was, and then they were like, okay, no DQ on Tuesday. This was before the news of the injury came out. No DQ title match on Tuesday. It's like, okay. And this is going to be where the Bludgeon Brothers lose. What if they called that audible? And they were like, because you're not going to... You screwed up your arm. You screwed up your arm something fierce. You know it. Okay. So... the Bludgeon Brothers, I think, were probably booked to win.
I can see that.
And Eric Rowan hurt himself and was like, well, shit. How do we...
I'll tell you what, they certainly had the perfect out. They're the Bludgeon Brothers. They've got the hammers. They're the
Bludgeon Brothers. Okay, we need a way to get out of this match and get out of this match quick. Let's bludgeon. That's it.
Again, I think that's why I couldn't spot any audibles, just because again, in my mind and in the way it was delivered, it worked.
It worked either way, because either way, you could go like, oh, Bludgeon Brothers are about to lose. Let's bludgeon. That's it.
Bludgeon Bros gonna bludgeon.
Yeah, Bludgeon Brothers gonna bludgeon. That's it.
I dig it.
But everything this match scared the shit out of me.
Really?
Okay, None of the moves that they did look safe. None of them. Xavier Woods looked like he concussed himself 5 times over during the match. Big E suplexed Luke Harper. Looked like he landed on his head. That's it. That elbow drop from the top. Holy crap. Okay, I thought Xavier Woods broke his pelvis on the floor. That's it. I was like, nothing about this match screamed safety, and it makes sense because it's a Bludgeon Brothers match. Okay, the match, it's not supposed to look safe. You're supposed to look like you're gonna die at any minute. That's it. So
it all worked for me.
It did. It worked.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of the DQ finish, but if it's what I think it was, if it's what
acceptable,
it's acceptable to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like multiple DQ finishes in one night.
Agreed, especially for a big show like this.
Yeah, so if it was an audible, then I'll accept it.
Yes. In the meantime, next match we've got Braun Strowman beating Kevin Owens once again.
In about a minute and a half flat.
Yeah, I looked away for not even a minute. I looked back, oh, the match is done already. Okay, I guess we can look forward to some shenanigans later on in the night.
Yeah, this is, when you think about it, this is probably exactly what it should have been. Especially with the shenanigans pulled later in the night.
Bless you.
Does it make Kevin Owens look bad? Yeah, it makes him look bad. But it also makes it makes Braun Strowman look like $1 million. And that's the plan. That is the game plan for WWE. And if that's the game plan, they executed it perfectly.
Yes. And I'm not even worried about Kevin Owens considering he can talk his way out of anything.
Yeah.
So, again, I get it. It's felt like an interlude. It's acceptable to me. What did not feel like an interlude is this next match, Charlotte Flair barely beating Becky Lynch and Carmella to become the new Raw Women's Champion. I gotta hear your thoughts on this one.
First of all, thank God Carmella is no longer champion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The fact that she was against the 2 best women's wrestlers on the SmackDown roster, it showcased her weaknesses even more than it normally would. Yeah, she did the suicide dive, but whatever. Charlotte should stop doing that moonsault. Really. Okay. She's gonna kill herself one day because nobody wants to catch her. That's it. And I love the ending. I love everything about the ending and the aftermath of the ending.
I figured you might.
I like the fact that the only way that Charlotte was able to win was to basically steal the victory. By Carmella was gonna tap. You could see it. You could see it coming. And then all of a sudden you just see Charlotte come from behind with the natural selection. Done. That's it. And it's like, and at that moment, and as soon as she got hit with the natural selection, I was like, oh, it's coming. Mm-hmm. It's coming. And it's gonna come in hot. That's it. And they went in for the hug, and I was like, ah. and then just the elbows and
kapow.
Just kapow. And the crowd went nuts. I don't know how. And they tried to have her cut the heel promo on Tuesday.
Not work.
It's not gonna work. It's not. It's. She's too loved. There is such a thing as too loved. Like, she has to do some really messed up shit.
Yeah.
To get the crowd to turn on her. Cutting a promo about the fans isn't gonna do it. It's too late for that. That's it.
Yeah. Bully Ray actually said on the radio this morning, Becky Lynch is basically in the Daniel Bryan spot right now, where he's just...
They're trying to make her a heel, but...
It just doesn't work. It just doesn't.
Yeah, and Charlotte's gonna turn into the heel by proxy.
Well, she kind of already is at this point.
No, just Becky is supposed to be the heel of this feud. Supposed to be. Charlotte Flair obviously got booed on SummerSlam. Did she get booed on SmackDown?
I didn't catch all of SmackDown. But from everything I heard, the crowd was solidly in Becky's corner the entire time.
Yeah, so I feel like the WWE's got to have no choice but to switch everything around. But I get Becky Lynch versus Charlotte throughout the fall, going up to Evolution. I love it.
Hey, that's all right by me too. I'm in for it. Next up we have... Next match is Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. Samoa Joe defeated AJ Styles via disqualification. The Brawl won the day. Personally, even though it wasn't like a clean finish between the wrestling and the storylines, this was personally, for me, my match of the night.
This was very good storyline build-up. This was a story-driven match. There was never going to be a victor for this match because you knew, based on the story coming in, that this is going to go to at least Hell in a Cell.
Big time.
You know that this is going to be a Hell in a Cell match. And they needed a way to get it there. And Samoa Joe took it there in a big way.
Joe came to play.
Your daddy's not coming home. Don't worry though. I'll be your new daddy. I'm like, wow, dude.
And I knew that was coming because I know he had more than the one kid. I know he's got like 2 or 3 boys. And as soon as I saw the wife and the little girl, I was like, okay, there's going to be shenanigans. There's got to be.
And the fact... This match started... This was the build-up match. You're saying it's your match of the night. The next match that they have is a match of the year candidate.
I can definitely
because they're going to go all out the entire way. This one, they started out slow, sizing each other up, and they built it up to a crescendo at the point where he went into the crowd and said what he said and caused AJ Styles to flip a shit like we've never seen flipped before. Okay? And the fact that AJ Styles went so apeshit that his wife and little girl could barely even look at him as they're walking to the back after the match. This is a blood feud now. Literally, AJ Styles was busted open about 10 minutes into the match.
And again, that's another reason why I loved it so much. There's so much about this just plain worked for me.
And
I know it's only beginning.
And they've feuded so many times in different companies in the past that they have great chemistry together. They know exactly how to put on a great match. Okay, they know exactly what they can and can't do. Okay, this is awesome in every step of the way. This is great stuff.
Big time. Speaking of being
like this
awesome,
this is a DQ finish that I'm okay with because it actually furthers the story. And it makes sense to the story.
Big time. And again, I know we're going to get more, so bring it on. In the meantime, again, speaking of awesome, The Miz defeated Daniel Bryan in a similar fashion that I kind of thought he would. Especially once we saw Maurice at ringside. And with the baby. So
I thought the stroller was gonna be like where the implement was. Like, she wasn't gonna have it inside her coat. She was gonna have it in the stroller. Like, and there would be nothing actually in the stroller. There would be no baby. There would be no fake baby. There would be nothing except a brick or brass knuckles or whatever. And that's what they used to win. But I was really worried about this match. Like, we built it up so much that in the end I thought that there was no way that they could live up to the expectation that we gave it. And let me say this. This is the most Daniel Bryan I've seen Daniel Bryan since he's been back.
I see that.
And
yeah, this feud isn't over yet by a long shot. Absolutely not.
And I love it. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks that I don't like that they're bringing it into a potential like WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they're doing like instead of John Cena and Nikki Bella, they're doing Daniel Bryan, Brie Bella kind of thing now. And they're setting up a mixed tag, it seems like. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but
I'm okay with it just because it reads to me like a layover, even though we do have to deal with a returning Brie Bella.
As long as
temporary.
As long as Brie Bella pins Maurice and Daniel Bryan doesn't pin The Miz, I'm okay with it.
Acceptable. Meanwhile, we had a very short match. We had Finn Balor returning as a demon to completely annihilate Baron Corbin.
Here's the deal. I like it, and I don't like it at the same time.
Okay, explain.
I don't like that you brought the demon back for Constable Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing about this feud that screams, we need the demon here. So I don't like that. I do like the fact that if you're gonna bring out the demon, okay, the match needs to be a squash. So they did that right. I don't think this was a feud that had a place for the demon. I don't. But if you're gonna bring it out, do it right, and they did.
I'll tell you what, though. I've heard that complaint before, and I get where it's coming from. But I feel like this was a somewhat unusual use of the demon character, but it worked for two main reasons. Number one, it reminded the audience as a whole that the demon still existed and could be called upon in kayfabe, which is one of my main complaints, that ever since he did the whole Balor Club for Everyone thing, it sort of took away some of his luster, some of his edge that made him unique and different and interesting. So the first big advantage to this is that it reminded us and the audience that, yes, we're not getting rid of the whole demon thing. It's still in the mix and can be called upon if needed. That's number one. Number two, I like the way it was portrayed because it wasn't portrayed as a necessity. The way it read to me was, this was Finn Balor just being fed up with the whole Constable Corbin annoyance thing. It's not because he needed it. I'm perfectly certain he could have beaten Constable Corbin without invoking the demon thing.
He has.
And he has. So we already knew this. This wasn't him needing it as the last resort to win. This was him pulling it out as an absolute final nail in the coffin to finally exterminate this pest for good. Like, okay, you want to keep harassing me? Okay, I'm really going to let you have it. Full force. Here's a friggin' demon. Enjoy your death.
And that would be fine if they actually had him Like, if they actually had him, like, take Constable Corbin off TV for a week, sell a beating, you know? But no, he was facing Bobby Lashley within 15 minutes on Raw the next night.
No,
I was like, here's the deal, okay? I don't think, like, the feud with Bray Wyatt, you had to bring out the team. You had to. It was obvious. You had to.
Certainly.
Okay, that's the point. Every other feud that he's had, there's been no reason for the demon. Okay, I don't think you bring out the demon when the storyline calls for it, not as a novelty or anything like that. This is what that's what this felt like to me. Okay, it didn't. I think that you do only bring out the demon when it's needed. Okay, you don't. I think, like, that's the big thing. He brings out the demon when it's needed, and then all of a sudden, it's a novelty for SummerSlam. That's what this was. And I'm like, so you give him a better opponent and a better storyline going in to SummerSlam so that it makes the demon feel needed. Instead of just, oh, we've been building up this feud for the last 2 months. Kind of. That's it. And then, it's SummerSlam. Yeah, why not? Bring out the demon. That's what it feels like.
I see that.
And I'm not down with that. But as I said, if you're gonna bring it out and do it right. And at SummerSlam, they did it right. Do I agree with the decision to bring it out? No. But when you bring it out, did they do it in the correct manner? Yes.
Can we at least agree the CG effects on the whole crazy portal opening above the ring?
Oh, yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah. Anything that has to do with the demon entrance, I'll watch it all day.
Trey, awesome.
But give me context next time. That's it.
Hey, we'll see where it goes from there, but until then, we also had Shinsuke Nakamura defeating Jeff Hardy to retain the U.S. title.
The big story of this match, first of all, the Swanton bomb onto the apron. Ouch.
Yeah.
That's it.
Meanwhile, Jeff Hardy's like, oh, I've got back problems.
I've got back
problems. I wonder.
I've got back problems at 40 years old. I don't do the Swanton bomb as much anymore. Okay, I'm gonna do it off the edge of the apron.
Because Jeff Hardy.
Because Hardy's got a Hardy. That's what they're gonna do.
That's exactly what this
and
was.
He rolled
Hardy's
in.
got a Hardy.
He rolled into the ring. Kinshasa. We're done. The story of this match is what happened afterwards, and I actually laughed my ass off at the end. Like, I don't think I was supposed to laugh my ass off, but I totally did. Yeah. Randy Orton comes out, surveys the ring, walks to the back and does nothing.
Yeah, that...
I'm okay.
Okay, why?
What was that?
Red herring, I guess? I have no idea. Get your act together, Randall.
Creepy Randy Orton.
Strikes again.
That was one of those, like, I don't know.
I don't know either. But in the meantime, after that, we got extremely... Well, I can only describe it as extremely cathartic 4 minutes of Ronda Rousey taking apart Alexa Bliss to become the new SmackDown Raw Women's Champion, excuse me.
For about 5 minutes after this match, I was pissed off.
Are we talking about the sudden, out-of-nowhere inclusion of the Bellas?
No. I was talking about the complete squash match against your champion when it takes you 10 minutes to beat Alicia Fox. That's it. That was what I was talking about.
Okay.
I was like, Here's my problem with Ronda Rousey's booking so far. Okay. I love the fact that she's champion. Makes complete sense in the timeline. Okay. But if you're gonna squash the shit out of the champion, why does it look like you could barely handle Stephanie McMahon? Why does it look like you could barely handle Nia Jax? Why did it take you 10 minutes to beat Alicia Fox? Okay, then you're gonna come out here and squash your champion, the best thing you've got going on Raw right now in the women's division other than yourself, in 3 minutes. And then I thought about it. And I was like, as long as she just starts squashing people from here on out, like 3-minute matches for championships for all time.
Mm-hmm.
And she's there every week, defending at every pay-per-view. I'm like, I'm fine with it. But if all of a sudden she does this one squash match and then she's back to 12, 15-minute matches with the Bella Twins or Natalia or anything like that, no, bitch. 3 minutes or less of bust. That's it.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that this is going to continue at least for a while because they really can't help but make Ronda Rousey look like an absolute badass. It's like part of her nature.
You need to make her look like a badass, and you have, and in wrestling matches so far you have failed at that. In storyline and angle wise, yes, badass to the max. Mm-hmm. Match wise, I'll keep coming back to it. 10 minutes, Alicia Fox.
It gets ass style. And finally, we come to our main event of the evening, ultimately resulting in Roman Reigns defeating Brock Lesnar to finally take back the Universal title.
This feud has felt like it's been going on for 10 years, and it needed to end, and it needed to happen in this way. Okay.
At least the pace was good, and we got the Braun Strowman moment, that the involvement rather that we wanted.
Yeah,
maybe not the result.
And
but...
you know what? Okay. As I said on Twitter, okay, whether you like him or you hate him, you cannot deny the fact that with the Universal title now on Raw every week, it gives me a reason to tune in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Knowing that Brock Lesnar had the championship belt and knowing that he wasn't going to be there, I did not feel the need to tune in every week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even if it is Roman Reigns, okay, I feel the need to tune in every week because, hey, the champion's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the champion's going to be there.
It's an odd feeling that we have it back.
It feels new and fresh, even though we all know it isn't.
Yeah. But you said that, I'm like, yeah, you know what? After thinking about it, kind of does. You're right.
Yeah, and you know what? As I've always said, Roman Reigns, the wrestler, is not the problem. Roman Reigns, the entertainer, yes, problem. So
the cognitive dissonance that the WWE is putting out in regards to his character versus what is really going on. Yeah, I don't want to get emotionally invested, but at the same time, you know,
the amount of feuds that you can have with Roman Reigns as a champion. Okay, that's why I'm skeptical about Braun Strowman as champion. I really am, because the amount of shit that you can do, the WWE can do with Roman Reigns as champion, the amount of feud. Look at what we got on Raw. First night, he's defending against Finn Balor.
Yeah, he's definitely going for the brownie points right out of the gate with the fans.
Yeah, it's like if this is how this title reign is going to be run, I'm here for it, whether it's Roman Reigns or not. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
There's still going to be some meat to chew on, no doubt about it. There's still something about this that I still don't want to trust Roman Reigns and what they're doing with him. Like, I'm almost programmed to think that it's Roman Reigns. They're bound to mess it up somehow.
Yeah. It's just a new feeling. It's that euphoric feeling at the beginning of a run where your champion's gonna be there every week.
True enough.
And it's like anything could happen. We all know it's probably gonna happen, but anything could happen. It's like Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor. Okay, we all know that Roman Reigns is gonna win. But we're still getting a title match on Raw. That's it. We all know what's going to happen here.
Bingo.
But we're still getting a title match on Raw when we barely had the title on Raw in over almost 2 years. Mm-hmm. So it's like that euphoric feeling of the champion is here. We're actually getting stuff done. Okay, it feels big again.
It feels
the show feels must see with the champion on it again, and that's the big thing. I like how the WWE staved off the complete shitting of this match. Like Brooklyn was ready. Like the pants were down. They were ready to shit all over this match. Okay, they were ready, and then Braun Strowman came out and did what he did, and they were like, pants back up. We gotta wait.
Pants were down.
We gotta wait. We gotta hold on. We gotta hold on a minute.
I think I just found a new analogy.
Yeah.
The pants were down. We were ready.
And then Braun Strowman came out, and we had to pull them back up.
Oh,
it actually gave the crowd a reason not to shit on what they were watching.
Yeah, and it worked.
It worked. And the WWE was smart. As soon as before the crowd figured out that nothing was gonna happen, they shut down the pay-per-view. I'm like, that was very good manipulation instincts by the WWE brass.
Bravo.
That was good. They knew. Everybody knew. You're in Brooklyn. The pants were down from the minute the show started. They were like,
in typical Brooklyn fashion.
Yeah, they were waiting. They were brewing up. They were drinking their beer. They were eating their hot dogs. They were ready for that main event. They were ready to let it all go.
And then, not so much.
And then Braun Strowman came out, and then
we have to cheer now. Oh, boo.
Yeah, and you know what? It was a roller coaster ride.
It really
was, and I that made me enjoy what little action we actually got. Mm-hmm. Okay, because it was a typical Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match. It was Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns 3.0. That's it.
That it was.
But you always had that back of your mind, like, okay. It doesn't matter. It's that feeling of what's gonna happen, and the fact that they were able to get that, and the Brooklyn crowd was actually into it, no matter the manipulation or anything like that. It was good. It was a good main event. Mm-hmm. It was good for what it was, and I enjoyed it. And we finally got a champion that will be on the show every week. Good riddance, Brock Lesnar.
Good luck in the UFC.
Good luck in the UFC. And hopefully Roman Reigns has a title reign that I don't hate. And they're off to a good start after one day. That's it.
Right on.
That's it.
So, as far as this show as a whole, from 1 to 5, what would you give it on the beardy scale?
On the beardy scale, it's going full beard for me.
Really?
Yes. Mostly because, okay, it's a 6-hour show. Okay. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy, no one cared. The crowd was out of it. The match itself is okay. Creepy Randy Orton, I don't know what he was doing. Okay, the pre-show, gotta bring it down for the pre-show. Okay, the 2 disqualifications. One made complete sense.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I'm hoping the second was inaudible. Okay. So, basically, there were times where I zoned out. It's a 6-hour show. You can't expect me to be able to pay attention through all of it.
Anything beyond 5 hours, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. So, the pre-show was I do take that into account. And there were periods where I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
But the show as a whole was good. I enjoyed it. And there wasn't anything that I completely hated.
Yeah, honestly, I was going to give this a full beard 4 out of 5 too. Just because, like you said, it wasn't a perfect show, but when the show is that long and it's paced that well, it's difficult not to find something to like in this whole thing. And I think, I know I've said it before, but I'm convinced that WWE has now mastered the art of much longer shows like this, to the point where, yes, it's a big, long, grueling night of wrestling, but ultimately, the pacing is such that it still delivers.
They've mastered the big show, long show. I still remember the Great American Battle Royal, the Great Royal Rumble, the Greatest Royal Rumble,
yes.
Or whatever. That debacle. I remember that. That was, but
whole other thing.
But that was a glorified house show. So in a show that means something, they're starting to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because WrestleMania was pretty good. Okay. SummerSlam was better, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they're there yet. They need the best combination to get people not to zone out in those specific areas, like I did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very marked improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, full beard.
Agreed. I'm right there with you. So anyway, now you have officially heard what we think. Now we're turning it over to you, our listening audience. What did you think about SummerSlam 2018? Wherever you are, leave us a comment, leave us a note, give us a like. If you're on YouTube and you're joining us there, you can join us in doing any one of those things. And you can also subscribe to us if you want new wrestling content every single week. You can also check us out on Facebook. Just look up the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Give us a like there. We always love the support. And of course, if you want to get real up close and personal with us and join the conversation yourself, you can track us down on Twitter as well, starting with our main account at ScholarsOW for all the latest wrestling uploads every single week. And of course, if you want to join the conversation a little bit more intimately, you can check us out on our personal Twitter accounts, starting with Mr. Scholar in the Bank himself, Scholar Tarek at the Avataric. Brian, where can I reach you?
You can find me drinking in my douchery at Atomic Beanpole.
And you can find me at I'm Robbie Rage. That's all one word. Join in the fun.
Oh, we bought it back. I'm Robbie Rage, all one word.
I keep forgetting that's meme status now. Oh, brother. I can never win.
And let's face it, okay? So nobody yells at us, okay? We all know that TakeOver Brooklyn was the better show. Okay? It's obvious. You don't have to yell at us. We all know. We just didn't feel the need to go over it because we decided that you all know too. That's it.
That goes. Some things just go without saying. Just like the fact that we know what we're talking about. You know who we are. We're the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. See you all next week.